Loads, Mike.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I would be Mike Matthews, and we're at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And we are at episode, I think 2080, a lot is what we are at. That's some number. That's 2823, 2,823. That's right. That's for you and for me to remember, because I've done a lot of podcasts, and there's
Mike's Daily Podcast.
a lot of people who start podcasts that do the thing called the pod fade, and
Mike's
they disappear forever.
Daily
No one ever hears from them.
Podcast.
They go into the abyss.
Yeah.
They realize, I'm not making any money off of this. I passed that point long ago, and I keep on doing it. What's wrong with me? Bless my soul, what's wrong with me? Should I be more into sports like Netflix is? They're taking another step into the live streaming sports arena. In July, they're hosting a boxing match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a social media personality turned boxer. This will be Tyson's first professional fight in almost 20 years. And Paul is 30 years younger than him. I can see how this would appeal to people who love Mike Tyson and who hate social media personalities. Influencers. Punch the influencer in the face. That may appeal to some folks. This is almost like celebrity matchup, where they would just, the little, what was that kind of animation called, claymation? And they pulverize each other. Netflix wants new subscribers to watch the fight, then stay for 30 days to see their huge library of shows that I can't seem to get into any of it, because you watch something, let's say, that may interest you.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And nobody else knows what you're talking about when you bring it up at work. No one. There's no such thing as water cooler talk when it comes to Netflix. I don't know if that's going to help them in any way. I don't think it is. It shall be a hindrance. The podcast picture today is of, let's say, another nice picture from the beach recently in Half Moon Bay. We did that about 2 weeks ago. And see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. I remember I took a day off from work, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll take a nap. And then that's the week my next door neighbor decided, oh, hey, I'm going to hammer the heck out of my deck next door to Mike. I'm just going to hammer like crazy. And the late great Basil the Boxer would not have liked that either, but he did enjoy Half Moon Bay. And see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. So, sports. I'm known around the office as not the biggest sports person, but I have to, let's put it this way. We're going to be carrying at one of my stations a baseball team. No, not the one that's leaving a particular part of the Bay Area that I live near. Not that famous team, but a team that is sort of, well, they're not even really affiliated with them, but they're in the same area, let's just say. And they're part of the Pioneer League. And, well, it's going to be their first year playing, and we're going to be part of it. So I have to basically come up with all the gadgets and the whatnots to make this happen.
Is that why you're bald, Mike?
That is why I'm bald, because I'm thinking about this nonstop. Even though I don't really understand sports, but I played them as a kid, so I understand them to that extent, growing up in America. Anyway, Café Anyway, that's what Netflix wants to do, is get people into the sports thing. Watching sports on Netflix. Live programming creates cultural moments relevant not only to viewers but to advertisers. A new revenue stream And Netflix is hoping to get into that, looking for the highest class advertiser.
Hi there, Mike. How are you?
But maybe not really sports. How about $5 billion is what they spent with the WWE? And then there's the Netflix Cup, where Formula One racers and pro golfers faced off. That was last year. The Netflix Slam. That was a few months ago, featuring tennis stars. And
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
comedy shows. Oh, they did the recent roast of Tom Brady. And I guess that would be somewhat sports related. But Netflix could make its boldest move into sports yet, acquiring the rights to exclusively stream 2 NFL games on Christmas next season. A word, if I may, about roasts. So, I remember watching the ones on Comedy Central, the roast of Courtney Love, the roast of Jerry Stiller. That's when he was popular playing, was it George Costanza's dad? And then, of course, he's the father of Ben Stiller. And then he got big on King of Queens. And it was loud. It was boisterous. It was a lot of bad language that was bleeped. So every other word was a bleep on Comedy Central. And to me, that kind of na playground idiocy just doesn't appeal to me. But Netflix could make its boldest move yet with this whole thing, acquiring the 2 NFL games. And then Netflix will inevitably dive further into live sports, as has Apple, Amazon, Disney.
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
Magic Mike. No, that was Mr. Mike. Mr. Microphone. Warner Brothers Discovery, they're also getting into it. Okay, now people also are into spending thousands of dollars on a vacation or even buying a new iPhone, but not paying for it all at once. A descendant of layaway loans or infomercials, 3 easy installments, buy now, pay later loans. Yes, they're growing in popularity. Apps like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm are the most popular. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in Ameritopica. So it's a buy now, pay later or loans, which is BNPL. They were up 14% over the past year. BNPL over the holidays last year represented almost 8% of all online spending. From January through April of this year, BNPL and Café Anyway, it drove almost $30 billion in online spending. If you avoid interest, it's not that big of a deal. But then these loans create phantom debt or ghost debt. And 43% of BNPL users say that they were behind on payments, so they were paying that phantom ghost debt. A third of people who used BNPL did so because their credit cards were maxed out. All that from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's heard on the Bay Area on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings, and then he's also on Cron TV. That is Monday through Thursday. He's seen on Cron TV. And this other interesting bit of news he found, McDonald's is working to introduce a $5 value meal, $5. And that meal could include 4 items. And we were just talking about how fast food is changing and it's more expensive. And that's partly because Gavin Newsom raised the minimum wage at fast food restaurants to $20 an hour. So it really makes no sense to eat fast food anymore. It makes no sense to eat out anymore. What makes sense is to eat at home. Now, I forget her name. She's from the New York Times. And she does that podcast with Scott Galloway. And I could listen to Scott Galloway all day. And I have Rob Black basically introduced, although I did see Scott on C-SPAN Books, one of the, one of the talk things, not TED Talks, but, a panel, a discussion. And he was on a panel with like 2 other people, and he was brilliant just listening to him. This was about 5 years ago. And he's bald. I dig that because I am. And he's just very...
It's a trap!
It's a better way of dealing with the top of your head and not having to deal with hairstyles and trying to keep your hair and all that idiocy. It's almost as much idiocy as the school recess on the playground, insulting each other. Nah. But anyway, Scott Galloway is brilliant. And he was discussing how fast food, he really enjoys the person-to-person watching. He knows that, like, the name of the guy who makes his burrito at Chipotle. And his co-host, who he does the podcast with, and I can't remember her name, but she was, oh, no. It's all going to be automated. All of it. It makes the food, basically, it'll be done at a hub and then brought to the individual restaurants. It's just that whole system seems impossible. At some point, you're going to need the people in there. But the people in there are going to be paid this crazy amount of money. So we're in a conundrum here in California. And they're going to just have
Mike
to...
is awesome.
Oh, thank you, Rob. It has to do with automation. It's going to be more and more to do with automation. It's just going to have to be. And it's obviously going to happen because AI has expanded so much. Oh, by the way, and one of the things Scott was talking about was how AI is going to be is going to be taken over to a large extent by Microsoft. Oh, they said that if TikTok's going to be bought by anybody, it's probably going to be Microsoft, because Microsoft doesn't really have a huge social media presence yet, and that would take care of it with TikTok. So we'll see. They're trying to build their own search engine or get more people to use Bing or Edge. In fact, there's an app. The Edge app is basically a search tool. If you get it, it is slow as all get out. So I want to get it out of my phone, but hey, I get points on Bing, and I have been getting points on Bing for at least 9 years now. So I think it's finally amounted to I could buy a burrito at Chipotle or half a burrito. So that's
the Haley moment of the week.
Why do I keep doing that? It's not even a thing anymore. Nikki Haley's out of the race. I've shouted out to Haley's. There's that Haley that's part of that band, and that's Paramore, and that's about it. Why does that come up all the time?
What was that all about?
I don't know. I guess it's time to say hi outside of Café Anyway to a couple people. Shall we? Shall we do that? I think we shall. Do you know one thing that is interesting when you have, and we've had on the podcast many a time, Madame Rootabega, and she does that thing where she goes, yes, that really quick yes. In New Zealand, that's how they say yes. Yes, yes. Like that, really quick. Yes. I love it. It's hilarious. And you know what? I just realized Rob Black does that too. Interesting. It came back to him. I don't know if Scott Galloway does it, but look who's here. Hello, Michael Masters, Madame Rootabega. Always that was very interesting. Who are those people you're talking about? Woo! They're like into business and tech and that kind of thing, which is what we should know, since that seems to be the direction of the way money is made in this world. But let's not forget the farmers, because without the farmers, we don't have the food that's going to be made automated for us. It isn't quite a Star Trek world yet where you say, computer, make me a souffle. Do you like souffles? Yes. Do you like to dance? Yes. Do you like Star Trek? No. Oh. Okay. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we heard that you was talking all about AI. Does that mean this podcast is done by AI?
Yeah, AI. Do you know that? No, there's no AI, unless we're talking about absolutely interesting. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. What do you think about any of this? You can give me a call at this number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-5600. 4640.
Oh, Chewy. I walked a dog named Chewy. It's not, and Muttley is there too. Okay. So, yeah, call that number. And with more ways to reach me, here's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!